The Man with the Yin Yang Eyes. Season 2. Episode 14. Come on. Obediently take off all your clothes quickly, or we will beat you up. I saw the other kids violently tormenting mentally and physically the unfortunate boy, led by Young. He laughed and threatened the other boy. Apart from the damn blonde guy who was holding the phone and pointing the camera at the naked boy on the ground, the damn kids following him were doing the same thing. The poor boy only knew how to cover his sensitive parts with his hands. He looked like he was crying and humiliated to the point of guilt. But I also couldn't appear at that moment to solve it for him. Wow, if this is posted online, a lot of people will see it. And maybe we'll become hot according to this video. Those damn scoundrels were holding the camera while laughing and joking around. It's a sin for the poor boy to cry. What are you crying about? Didn't I let you get dressed? When they finished filming, they continued to torture the boy. I looked at this scene and felt my blood boil. Are they still human, or are the animal parts taking over the human parts? If you don't, you'll know what's going to happen tomorrow, and we'll make you famous with this clip. After threatening a few more sentences, the other animals also left, leaving the poor boy on the ground. The boy sat down for a while, then got up and staggered back, crying non-stop while walking. I saw that I hated myself for not being there at that time to beat up those scums. The poor boy was walking when a leaf fell in the wind in front of him. The boy looked up with a tear-filled face. Above the boy's head, 2 ropes were dangling from the branches of an old tree. The boy grabbed one, looked at it blankly for a long time, then the poor boy really thought about it. Oh my God. The next morning, 2 early gymnasts ran across the old tree and saw a horrifying scene. The boy hanged himself. The first 2 people who found out about the boy's suicide by hanging were shocked for a while, and then they rushed to report it to the police. When the police arrived, there were many people around, including the little scum boy Young Jr. At first, when he first saw the scene in front of him, he was a bit shocked and scared, but then he quickly changed from a worried state to a mocking expression, lower than an animal. He even did something more outrageous. The other animal also took out his phone, raised it high, pointed the camera at the poor boy hanged, and pressed continuous shooting. The scene I saw here ended. I was so angry that my blood boiled, my eyes wanted to explode, and my hands couldn't help but tremble and wanted to hit people. This guy is not as good as an animal. What's the matter? What did you see that made you so angry? I didn't get angry, and I couldn't help but rush in front of that damn guy about to hit him. Lucky for him, Big D stopped me, or else I'd have to beat him to death. Hey, guys, what happened? Can you calmly tell me or not? The answer is inside your son's phone. Just tell him to show it, and we all will understand. I could die of anger, but I had to endure it. Until now, Mr. Young still doesn't know what his son did. He really doesn't know how to teach his son. I guess this bastard still had some pictures and clips on his phone, so I told him to go and see for himself. Hurry up and unlock your phone. Don't stand there and look at me. Mr. Young heard me say that and immediately went in front of his son to ask for the phone. Hurry up. The bastard hesitated for a long time without unlocking his phone, until Mr. Young was so angry that he shouted that it would open. Both Big D and Mr. Young, after looking at the other things in this scum's phone, they all froze in horror. Mr. Young couldn't imagine how his son could do something like that. This brute, it's really not as good as an animal. Mr. Young couldn't watch everything and was so angry that he couldn't stand it. He threw the phone and turned around to slap his goddamn son so hard that his mouth was full of blood. Big D was also angry and scolded and turned red all over his face. Do you think that son of a bitch is even worth helping? I approached Big D and told him I don't want to do this anymore. That guy is too damn dead. No need to help him. This bastard should indeed die 1,000 times and can't even make amends for what he did. But you have to say it again and again. Can you just watch the unfortunate resentful spirit kill people? Not just this damn guy, but the others as well. Save those lives. Big D's face is red, even though his eyes are red, but he still wants to advise me to accept this case. Death to the scum. It will help more than to let them go to society to harm people. Nothing more. There is nothing to worry about. I won't take this case. Those bastards are so horrible. Why should I save them? I didn't want to argue with Big D anymore, so I turned around and left. But the resentful spirit that kills too many people will have a hard time reincarnating. If your master were here, do you think he would leave like you want to? When I heard these words, I stopped. Thinking about it carefully, what Big D said really shook me a bit. If the master were here, he probably wouldn't have done the same thing as me. Ah, son, what's wrong with you? Gregory, look, I didn't have time to think carefully before something happened. The quiet living room suddenly resounded with the screams of the son of a bitch. I instinctively glanced back and saw that it was as if someone was strangling its neck. I suddenly fell into contemplation. I stood still for a moment. Behind me is Big D, who is constantly urging me to control the situation. He said that if I don't attack, he afraid the spirit of the ill-fated boy will strangle the scum to death. I thought for a moment, then raised my hand to take off my glasses. Then I took out a coin that I usually carried around and hid it from my belt, and I clamped it between 2 fingers. Then I made a strong flip of a coin towards a struggling monstrosity. The coin followed the strength of my hand and flew towards the resentful spirit, and then indeed hit the resentful spirit. At this moment, it seems that the resentment spirit has relaxed its hand. On the neck of scum, there are some black handprints. Son, are you okay? Seconds later, the son of a bitch fell to the ground, causing a rather heavy reverberation. He was crying while rubbing his neck. It turned out that he was also afraid, even peeing his pants. The whole room was filled with an unpleasant smell, but no one seemed in the mood to notice. Those evil bastards will be punished, but you're not the one who can do that. I quickly saw the bad boy's soul. After a few seconds of silence, I opened my mouth to advise the resentful spirit, but it seemed that he was very angry, using his hateful eyes to stand opposite me. As if my advice could not shake the vengeful spirit, he began to attack me. I felt the tie around my neck move. The tie slowly tightened around my neck, making me feel like I couldn't breathe. The boy's spirit must have seen me helping the bad guy and started to turn around to deal with me. Don't worry. I'm here. I'm here to help you. Just when I felt like I couldn't breathe anymore, I thought I was about to die when I felt my necktie loosen. Then I heard Big D. He took a blessed sword and rushed to relieve the siege. For me, he doesn't have his usual cowardice anymore, and he looks so enthusiastic. Now, you take these 2 things, then go and defeat the evil spirit quickly. It's too late to let it run. After successfully freeing me from the siege, Big D took the blessed sword and the earthen pot, 2 items that I usually use to subdue the evil spirit, and gave them to me and urged me to subdue the vengeful spirit quickly. I stood opposite and looked directly at the poor boy's soul for a long time. The psychological struggle in my head was extremely intense. That spirit was no longer in its normal state just now. Now all around was filled with his resentment. The resentment was so strong that it was overwhelming. I stood watching for a while longer. I knew I couldn't help but act. So I extended my right arm towards Big D, telling him to give me the tool to subdue the evil spirit. Oh, wait. Before I defeat that boy's soul, I have to make this bastard suffer for a while. As soon as Big D gave me the tool to subdue evil spirits, my mind turned around once. I'll definitely help the scum get out, but I want the bastard to taste some bitterness. I put a finger to my mouth to bite until it bled. I recited a spell and flicked some blood at the bastard. My blood hit him right in the middle of his forehead. He suddenly didn't have time to react. After a while, the angry bastard was about to raise his hand to wipe away the blood. But before he could finish wiping his eyes were dilated, and he had seen what I wanted to show him. The soul of the bad boy was possessed by the son of a bitch. Mr. Young, forced to commit suicide, now appeared in front of him. A twisted pale face full of death and resentment. A rope around his neck, all clearly visible in front of his eyes. The resentful spirit quickly rushed to wait to pounce on him. No, the scared bastard shouted in panic. A thin, bony, and dark purple hand stretched out in front of the bastard. After that, the resentful spirit used both hands to squeeze the neck of the scum. That bastard was strangled so hard he couldn't breathe. Tears flowed down his face was full of misery. His screams seemed to be stuck in his throat and couldn't come out. Opposite him was a resentful spirit with a face full of hatred and hatred. Hey, you want to do something? If you don't take action, he will really die. Haven't you decided to get involved in this case? I was watching the scene before me with satisfaction when I heard Big D's urging. If I was to be honest, I wanted to let the poor boy's soul strangle that bastard to death, but this is contrary to common sense. I can't just stand by and watch. Poor soul full of hatred, obey my orders. Hurry to where you belong, don't stay here to commit crimes. I listened to Big D, picked up the dug wooden sword, did some familiar movements while chanting a few spells. The clay pot was placed neatly in front of me by Big D. After finishing a series of chants, I used all my strength to stab the sword into the pot, causing a large hole in the center of the pot. On the opposite side of me, the resentful spirit is still strangling the bastard for revenge. As soon as I pulled the sword out of the clay pot, the miserable soul was sucked into the gap between the clay pot, this time so quickly that the black smoke and the groans of hell had not yet risen, perhaps because this soul is new and didn't kill anyone yet. On the opposite side, Mr. Young is constantly helping his damn son to breathe. I'm so annoyed with that scene. That bastard has a rich life and has someone who loves him like that. I will help me get the address and date of birth of that scum. At this time, a bad smell hit my nose again. The bastard must be afraid to pee his pants again. I didn't feel it before, but now I can feel it fully. I put my hand over my nose and turned to talk to Big D. What do you need those things for? Don't ask too much, just get it for me later. Whatever you do, you'll know soon enough. I'm not stupid enough to say outright my intention to listen to Big D right now. If I tell him the truth, he won't help me get that information. I wanted to give all the bad guys a taste of suffering to comfort the bad boy a bit. Quickly write down their name, address, date of birth for me. Now it's no longer my business. I'm tired. I'll go home first. The matter here, you continue to stay and solve it. I've already solved all of my problems. Big D didn't know what I needed the information for, but he still asked for it. Mr. Young urged his damn son to write it down and give it to me. After I got what I needed, I didn't want to stay there any longer. I took a taxi to go back. Big D stayed. By the time Big D returned, it was already dark. Hello, I'm back. This time has been successful. Mr. Young paid us 3 times the amount originally negotiated. What a great bargain. As soon as he walked through the door, the fat guy rambled on and on, but I don't care how much money I make this time. What the hell are you doing? Big D talked for a while until he didn't hear me answer, then he silently looked at what I was doing. Seeing the scene I presented in front of his eyes, Big D asked seriously, "Why don't you see it and ask? I'm doing something to comfort the poor boy's soul." I didn't change my face to answer Big D obviously. He must understand that question is so redundant. "You can't do that. Give me back my stuff." "What are you doing?" Big D froze for a few seconds, then stepped forward and grabbed the dolls on the table, preventing me from casting spells. I was angry with him for a while. "What if you do this kind of nonsense if my brother knows? Are you applying what you learned from your master to these evil tricks?" Seeing that I was too aggressive and refused to yield at all, Big D thought of a way to deal with me. He threatened me with my master. I've already dealt with this. Look, after he mentioned my master, I really calmed down a lot. The fat guy saw that I was silent and knew that my attitude was much more conciliatory. He immediately took out his phone, opened the news that was delivered tonight, and showed it to me. "You sell the news to the journalists?" I silently looked at the phone screen and saw that many media had reported on this incident. It happened so quickly because Big D took the opportunity to sell information to the media. There are many ways to solve a problem, and you have to know how to choose the smartest way. But are you thinking about making money right now? I can hardly accept Big D's way of dealing with money. Why is he always thinking about money and making money by any means? Money, of course, has to be earned, but this is only a side effect. The main part is that when the media reports it, it will arouse public outrage. You know, their families are all rich and powerful. If they don't make a big deal, how can they make them suffer without harming their lives? It's not unreasonable for this fat guy to say it, but I still have a hard time accepting this self-serving personality of his. Don't be so angry. If you kill those people or make them suffer with magic spells, it's against the heavens' law. You will get bad consequences. It's not as good as doing like me. Public opinion was so powerful, no matter how powerful the other family is, won't they drown in the saliva of people? I've done it both ways, don't think too much. It's still a fat guy with a powerful mouth, and I've almost been brainwashed to say a little bit. Come to think of it, he didn't say anything wrong. I know you've worked hard. Just lie down and get some sleep. Big D rambled on for a while until he pushed me down on the bed and told me to sleep. Do something. Indeed, I was very tired today. I immediately laid down and closed my eyes, but a few seconds later, I opened my eyes and looked to the side and shouted, "Do you want to go back to your room? What are you doing here? What's wrong?" Big D lying next to me on his arm makes me feel uncomfortable, and I can't sleep. Isn't it okay to watch you sleep here for a while? Damn it, this crazy man, get out of here. When I heard what he said, I got goosebumps and chased him away. I'm going to sleep now. Good night. I slept straight until morning. I didn't sleep very well, my sleep was restless, and I even had strange dreams that I couldn't remember clearly. Gregory. Yes. What's wrong? I was still dreaming and could not sit up when I heard Big D's loud scream. I was startled and quickly got up. Didn't you say you won't do anything else? Why do things turn out like this? Big D raised something while angrily shouting at me. Wait, it looks like he's opening a newspaper. What happened? What? At first, I didn't understand anything. I looked closely at the tablet and then saw terrible news. They are all dead. Why? Inside the tablet was the news of multiple tragic deaths occurring on the same day. The dead are the ones who did the evil thing that humiliated the poor soul that was defeated by me yesterday. They died in extremely strange postures and costumes.